Howdy everyone, Ellen Weatherholt here at the Tulsa Botanic Garden. So we're actually right here in our gift shop with our new seeds, and I have a few more fall planted favorites to tell you about today. So there are many flowers, cut flowers, and also just annual flowers for bedding plants that really do well in the fall. So we tried to get some seeds in that you would have success planting right now. So right now being end of August, September into October. So we're well into fall. It's a great time to plant, especially because it's actually fun to be outside when it's cooler at night. So I'm loving that. So first we've got alyssum. This is one of my favorite little flowers. It gets pretty small. It's not very big, but it is a beautiful, copious bloomer, and pollinators love it. So I love to plant this in the fall and grow it in the winter and in the spring. Also we have amie, also called Dara, both interesting, common, and scientific names. And this one is a really great cut flower, but also is another one of those plants that if you plant it here in the fall, it should be blooming for you next spring. So I'm excited to try this in my yard. I might cover it when it frosts, but I'm trying to get a cut flower out of it. So this is a stalk. This is another one of those great flowers to try if you want a few cut flowers. This one loves it cool. We had some stock in our garden display in fall 2020, and it did beautifully. So it did fry in that February frost, but a lot of things fried in that February frost because we all remember how cold it was. So hopefully we won't have anything quite like that this winter, and you'll have stock that just blooms all winter long. We also have flax. I've actually got two kinds of flax. I love flax. I think it has a beautiful airy texture. I love growing it. Pollinators love visiting it. And I think it is just one of the most beautiful little plants that we can grow. So I have had a little trouble with this one because the birds like to eat the seeds and their seedlings are very small, so sometimes they get lost. But I try it every year, and this year I'm gonna sow some in the fall and some in the spring. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a couple packets home with me after work and plant them in my garden too, and hopefully we'll get some beautiful spring flowers. So when they are successful, you'll get flowers starting early March. So it's very exciting. When those spring bulbs come up, you'll have flax too to complement it. And then bachelor's button is some people's favorite plant, and some people will never plant it again. So it just depends on what you're after. It's a really great cut flower because you can cut it and then cut it again and cut it again because it will always just flush out with new blooms. So I've seen these bloom anywhere from beginning of February if we have a warm winter all the way through the heat of July. So if you get a nice stand of bachelor's button, you'll just be putting it in arrangements all summer. We've also got phlox. I'm really excited to try this one. I saw it in the catalog and I did a little research on it, and we can actually sow these here in Oklahoma in the fall. It might be one of those where you shake the packet and I press the corner where there's seeds, and so I will sprinkle about half of them into my garden now and about half in like February, beginning of March, to see if we can get a good crop out of these. So pollinators love it. They're great cut flower, and they're also just beautiful in your garden, whether or not you cut them. And then we've got a money plant. This one actually is one of those plants that takes a little bit longer. So this one, we're gonna sow it now and you won't get flowers until next year. But once you get it in your garden started and you'll have crops of seeds, it will just keep sowing itself into your garden. So you should have plenty of these money plants in the long run. So I'm pretty excited about this. I love those dried seed pods and arrangements. So I love growing it. And then last but not least, we have blue grama grass. This one is native to our state and lots of states around us. And it is a cute little grass, and some people call it eyelash grass because it has those little seed heads that go sideways. And a great time to grow our prairie grasses and sow our prairie grasses in the fall. You can sow them in the spring too. They will grow in the spring, but many of our native species love a cool, hot period to help those seeds break that dormancy, and also moisture and lots of other things that a seed experiences when it's growing outside in its native habitat. So go ahead and sprinkle some of this blue grama. Hopefully you can add that to your list. And otherwise, we've got plenty of seeds to choose from. If you have seeds in your house, just go out and plant them if they were on this list. And they may not be the same color, but they're the same kind of plant. It's definitely going to love it in the fall. So go ahead and get those fall seeds in.